Hello and welcome to Florida, the Sunshine State. Thank you for joining in to watch this presentation on what you can expect if you're moving to Tyndall, Florida. Please feel free to pause the presentation at any time if you would like to take a screenshot or write down any information. Also, please note that the presentation will be available on YouTube and the CAF Connection website for you to view anytime. I hope that you're excited about this posting opportunity as there are so many things to do and see here. Please keep an eye out for the I Wish I Knew points. These points have been gathered from fellow Canadians after settling into Florida in hopes of easing the transition by avoiding surprises and having realistic expectations for newcomers. So let's get started. The state of Florida was founded by the Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon in 1513. He named the territory La Florida, which means the flower in Spanish. It was given the nickname the Sunshine State primarily to support tourism in Florida, in reference to the amount of sunshine that falls upon the state each year. Florida is theme park heaven and home to the most magical place on earth, Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. The Sunshine State is a great place for anyone who loves riding roller coasters, splashing down water slides, and immersing themselves in their favorite movies and TV shows. The theme parks are year-round attractions thanks to Florida's beautiful weather. Florida is also the golf capital of the world, with some 1,100 courses in every corner of the state. There are more golf courses per capita here than any other place in the United States. The highest point of elevation in the state is 345 feet above sea level, ranking Florida as the flattest state in the nation. Gatorade was created here in 1965 by a team of scientists at the University of Florida. It was made to replenish the carbohydrates, water, and electrolytes that the student athletes lost during rigorous sports activities. This beverage was made for the University of Florida's football team, the Florida Gators. The capital of Florida is Tallahassee, approximately a 2-hour drive east of us, located in the northwestern panhandle. The largest part of Florida is a peninsula that protrudes southeastward and is surrounded by the Gulf of Mexico, the Straits of Florida, and the Atlantic Ocean. Florida's land border to the north is shared with 2 other states, Georgia and Alabama. Florida contains approximately 20% of wetlands. The geology of Florida, together with a warm, wet, subtropical climate, provides conditions well suited for a large marshland ecosystem. The Florida Everglades is the single largest marsh system in the United States, occupying almost 10,000 square kilometers. Much of the land has been lost to development, but 4,200 square kilometers have been preserved. The state has over 700 natural springs. 8 billion gallons of water flow from Florida springs each day at a constant 72 degrees. Most of the springs are located in the central and northern parts of the state. Florida has the lowest average topography of any state. Much of the state lies at near sea level. The highest point of elevation is 345 feet in Britton Hill, near the Alabama border. It is the only state in the U.S. with extensive shallow coral reef formations near its coasts. Coral reefs create a specialized habitat that provides shelter, food, and breeding sites for numerous plants and animals. There are over 175 state parks that include nature reserves, recreation areas, historic sites, and miles of hiking, walking, and biking trails. 825 miles of the Florida coastline is made up of sandy beaches. Tyndall Air Force Base is in northwest Florida on the Panhandle. The closest largest city is Panama City, which is located between Tallahassee and Pensacola. Panama City has a population of just over 36,000 with a median age of 39. The primary language here is English, with Spanish as a second language. French is not prevalent here. The 2 key economic industries are the military and tourism. Tyndall is in Bay County, which is comprised of several cities and towns, including Panama City Beach, Lynn Haven, Parker, and Callaway. It is currently home to 31 Canadian military families. This map shows the areas where our Canadian families live. As you can see, most families are in the Lynn Haven and Panama City Beach areas. Tyndall Air Force Base is approximately 30-minute drive from Panama City and 40-minute drive from Panama City Beach. I wish I knew tip number 1. Panama City Beach is a top U.S. tourist destination. The beach's 27 miles of beautiful white sand and emerald green waters make it a top beach destination for travelers around the world. The pure white sand is attributed to quartz crystals washing down from the Appalachian Mountains centuries ago. Along their journey, the crystals were bleached, ground, smoothed, and polished. The surf and tides of the Gulf of Mexico are responsible for depositing these millions of grains of sugar white sand onto the pristine shoreline. The result of this rigorous process are the beautiful, renowned Panama City beaches. The area attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors from all over the world each year and is a popular spring break destination. As a result, there is a wide variety of local activities and attractions for you to do. For family fun, check out Wonderworks, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Sea Screamer Tours, Zoo World, Golf World Marine Park, Shipwreck Island, and live local theaters. Pier Park is a popular outdoor shopping district that extends onto the beach, featuring 124 shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues. The area is also home to many beautiful parks and outdoor recreation areas such as St. Andrews State Park, Frank Brown Park, and the Lynn Haven Sports Complex. The beautiful weather also allows for year-round outdoor activities, including kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding, splash pads for children, pools, and playgrounds. Fishing is a popular pastime. The Gulf of Mexico is home to many varieties of fish, including blue marlin, red snapper, mackerel, amberjack, and grouper. Expanding out from the local area, you will be less than a day's drive from several popular destinations. Within 6 hours, you can get to Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa, and Orlando, which, of course, is home to Walt Disney World. Drive a little further and you can visit Miami, just 8.5 hours away. Tyndall Field opened in January 1941 as a gunnery range. It was renamed Tyndall Air Force Base in January 1948. It is probably most renowned for their F-22 Raptor training and maintenance units, but is also home to the 325th Fighter Wing, 1st Air Force, 53rd Weapons Evaluation Group, and the 601st Air Operations Center. Tyndall Air Force Base has an abundance of services and recreation activities. The Airmen and Family Readiness Center, MFS's largest partner, offers services such as resume writing, job search, and military family life counseling. The base also has a fitness center which is available to all Canadian military members and dependents to use at no cost. They also have a base exchange, commissary, and a medical treatment facility, or an MTF, for members with a few services that dependents can access, including the pharmacy. The majority of medical services for dependents will be off-base or on the economy. Some of the main challenges or concerns that families find on an OUTCAN posting are birth of dependents, childcare, the education system, employment, finances, healthcare navigation, and taxes. We'll touch on a few of these. Birth of dependents. If you have a child while on an OUTCAN posting, there is citizenship paperwork will have to be completed along with regulations on future tax and banking information. Also, males born in the U.S. will have to be registered for the U.S. government's Selective Service System, or the draft, when they turn 18 years of age. Education. The Bay County School District offers public, private, charter, Catholic, and Christian schools. Most schools in Bay County start mid-August and finish the end of May. Enrollment age for kindergarten is 5 years of age on or before September 1st. Curriculum standards are slightly more advanced than in Canada. For those that are moving with high school students, in order to graduate while here, graduation requirements for the United States must be met. I wish I knew tip number 2. There are no French classes offered in schools. Most schools are primarily English, with Spanish second language classes. There is little to no French and no French immersion opportunities. More information about the schools can be found on the Bay County School District website. Dependent information. The unemployment rate in Panama City is 6%, which is 30% higher than the national average, and the minimum wage is $8.46 per hour US dollars. In order to work in the US, Canadian dependents are required to have an employment authorization document issued by Homeland Security. Often there are delays in receiving the employment authorization document. It could be up to 16 weeks before it arrives. So it is recommended that dependents start the process as soon as they can upon arrival in Florida. This may also have an impact on receipt of Canadian employment insurance benefits. In order to qualify, you must be ready, able, and actively looking for work. Without the employment authorization document, dependents are not legally authorized to work in the US, thus potentially causing the loss of EI benefits until the work authorization card arrives. It can be difficult for spouses to find suitable employment. Most jobs are in public service or customer service. Jobs here are limited depending on your field and desire to commute. A drastic pay cut or the loss of spouse income is common. Healthcare navigation. Canadian Armed Forces members are eligible to receive medical services at the medical treatment facility at Tyndall Air Force Base. However, there are limited on-base medical services for Canadian dependents to use. Families will need to find medical providers off-base. I wish I knew tip number 3, finding medical providers that direct bill alliance. Finding an off-base medical provider that direct bills alliance may be difficult. It is recommended that families prioritize this when they arrive to prevent delays for prescriptions or medical care. Also, there are many faith-based medical clinics that will not provide prescriptions for contraception. Main differences between US and Canada: Southern hospitality and strong military support. There is something to be said about Southern hospitality. The friendliness and warmth the locals show our families is very welcoming. Americans are very patriotic and demonstrate tremendous support for their military members. Don't be surprised if, while in uniform, the Canadian Armed Forces member is thanked for their service, if their purchase is offered to be paid for, or if they receive a salute or a handshake. Many retail locations and restaurants offer a military discount that is extended to our Canadian members. Don't hesitate to ask for it. Code of service. Family members accompanying their Canadian Armed Forces military member are also subject to the code of service while posted outside of Canada. While on an OUTCAN posting, we are all representing Canada and considered ambassadors of Canada. With that comes a certain degree of responsibility. Please familiarize yourselves with the code of service. Gun laws. Concealed carry is legal with a Florida concealed weapons license. The concealed weapons license allows holders to carry not only a handgun, but also electronic weapons, tear gas guns, billy clubs, and knives. Open carry is not legal in Florida, except for a few limited exceptions. Florida is a castle doctrine state, which means it allows people to stand their ground and use deadly force to defend themselves in their own homes or in any place they have a lawful right to be. Cell phone use while driving. In 2019, Florida passed a state law to make texting while driving a primary offense. Drivers can still talk on the phone by holding their cell phone with their hands or by using a hands-free device. The exception to this law is that drivers in work or school zones are not permitted to hold the phone up to their ear, type anything on their screen, or even hold their phone to read their GPS. Drivers can still talk on their phones in an active work or school zone, but they must use a hands-free device. You can legally text in your vehicle when you're waiting at a red light or stopped in traffic. Housing. Many of the houses in the area sustained damage from Hurricane Michael in 2018. Even those houses with minimal damage likely lost some shingles and may have had interior water damage as a result. When looking for a home, you may want to ask the homeowner about any damage that was sustained during Hurricane Michael. It is important to know if mold testing and remediation was done. The cost of housing in the area has increased significantly due to supply and demand post-hurricane. Transportation. Public transportation is very limited. There is one bus system that is not easily accessible and has extremely limited routes, which do not serve most residential areas. Taxis, Ubers, and Lyfts are available. However, having a car is really a necessity to living in this region. I wish I knew tip number 4, bringing your vehicle to the US. There are a few things to consider when moving to the US and bringing a vehicle. If you have an outstanding loan on your vehicle, check with your bank or lender to see what restrictions may be in place in order for the vehicle to leave the country. In many cases, the loan may have to be paid off. If this is the case, please check with your local orderly room to inquire about posting loans. I wish I knew tip number 5, when using a Canadian credit card to purchase gas at the pump on your travel through the States. In order to use a Canadian credit card to purchase fuel in the US, you may be required to enter your credit card billing zip code at the pump. Since you may not have a valid zip code associated with your credit card yet, if you use the 3 numbers that are in your Canadian postal code, followed by 2 zeros, this will give you an acceptable 5-digit zip code, and it should accept your credit card for payment. I wish I knew tip number 6. For those with allergies, the season may be longer. Sunny weather, beautiful plants, and warm temperatures are all a part of daily life in Florida. However, the downside is allergies are something that may have to be endured throughout the year. With our warmer weather and long summers, flowers can bloom longer and continue producing pollen long into the fall months. In fact, allergy season in Florida can last well into the fall. Dangerous wildlife. Florida is home to many species of snakes, 6 of which are venomous. This means these types of snakes can strike and release toxins into your bloodstream. There are also many species of non-venomous snakes. Most snake bites occur when someone attempts to handle a snake or got within the snake's strike zone. If you encounter a snake, treat it with respect and try to avoid it. There are 2 types of venomous spiders in our area, the black widow and the brown recluse. Preventative pest control measures can be taken by having your home and yard sprayed quarterly for these insects. There are 5 species of ticks in Florida. Although all tick species can carry viruses and bacteria, 3 species are the main culprits: the black-legged tick, also known as deer tick, the Lone Star tick, and the American dog tick. Ticks can be picked up in the woods at any time of the year in any habitat, but there are more adult ticks around during summer months. Ticks carry insect-borne diseases that humans and animals can contract, including Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Lyme disease. Florida residents know that we share the state with a large alligator population, an estimated 1.3 million to be exact. And while that can be scary, alligators are fundamental to the state's wetlands. Be aware of the possibility of alligators when you are in or near fresh water, and pay close attention to your surroundings. More information on all of these unique local animals and insects will be provided during the detachment's welcome brief. When it comes to all of these challenges or concerns, please know that MFS US is here to assist you in your journey. All of these areas will be explained in further detail upon your arrival. Please check out our website, cafconnection.ca, and the MFS US FAQ section for more details on your transition to Florida. Climate and weather. The weather here is subtropical with a year-round temperature averaging 74 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius. There are 2 basic seasons: the dry season, which is winter, the months run from November through April, and the wet season during summer, running from May through October, when it's also very hot and humid. Believe it or not, the Sunshine State isn't always sunny. There are plenty of severe weather threats in Florida that pose risks throughout the year. Panama City's weather can be unpredictable, with severe rain and lightning storms in the summer months. Fast-moving storm systems can move in from the Gulf of Mexico and bring with them heavy rain, thunderstorms, and flash flooding in some low-lying areas. Welcome to the lightning capital of the United States. Florida is in a lightning sweet spot because it sits between 2 warm bodies of water, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. The sea breeze from these bodies of water brings hot air inland. Once inland, the air rises to form towering thunderclouds full of dangerous lightning strikes. Another severe weather risk in Florida is the heat. A reminder to stay hydrated, wear light-colored clothing, and stay in air-conditioned areas during the hot months. Extreme heat can cause serious effects on your body, including heat exhaustion, dehydration, dizziness, nausea, and in severe cases, even death. Rip currents are powerful, narrow channels off of fast-moving water that are prevalent here in the Gulf of Mexico. This section of water travels in an offshore direction, flowing away from the shoreline perpendicular to shore, where moving at speeds of up to 8 feet per second. Swimmers often try to counter a rip current by swimming straight back to shore, putting themselves at risk of drowning because of fatigue. If caught in a rip current, swim parallel to the shore and swim back to land at an angle. It is extremely important to be aware of the flags that are flying on the beaches. The color-coded warning flags at all beach access points are designed to signal to swimmers whether it's safe to enter the water. It's also important to be aware of dangerous marine animals, including sharks, stingrays, and jellyfish, like the Portuguese man-of-war that can cause severe pain and even death. Beach safety rules and regulations are noted in our Canadian referral guide and will be provided to you upon your arrival. I wish I knew tip number 7. Hurricane season starts June 1st and goes until November 30th. Living in any southern coastal state, there is always a risk of natural weather occurrences such as hurricanes and tropical storms. The majority of these storms develop off the coast of Africa and move towards the Caribbean. They often gather strength and speed as they head towards the U.S. mainland. While these storms don't always strike Florida, Hurricane Michael was a reminder of just how devastating these storms can be. On October 10th, 2018, our communities were hit by Hurricane Michael. As Michael approached the Florida Panhandle, it attained peak winds of 155 miles per hour just before making landfall near Mexico Beach, Florida. It was recorded as the worst storm ever to hit this region and the third most intense hurricane to ever make landfall in the continental United States. Along the Florida Panhandle, the cities of Mexico Beach, Panama City, and Tyndall Air Force Base suffered the worst of Michael, with catastrophic damage reported due to the extreme winds and storm surge. The Canadian Detachment's chain of command has measures in place to ensure the safety of all of our Canadian families. We have an extremely vigilant emergency measures team here at Tyndall that tracks all weather patterns and disturbances. Our detachment has hurricane preparedness practices and procedures in place, and our families are well prepared for evacuations, if need be. Military Family Services, or MFS, is here to support the Canadian military and their families. While you are posted to the U.S., MFS is here to provide you and your family with as much support and resources as we can to help make your posting the best it can be. We hope to ease the transition between Canada and the U.S. and help you settle and thrive in your new community. Our programs and services are developed or identified in the community to meet the needs of our Canadian Armed Forces families posted to the U.S. If there's something we can do to help ease your transition, please let us know. Here is the local MFS coordinator's contact information. They can help with questions that you may have and provide the information needed to help you and your family with your move to Tyndall. Once you have your posting message, please contact the MFSC and they will be happy to add you to the private Facebook group and our local email distribution list so that you will start receiving our news, programs, and local information. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this helps prepare you for your Tyndall, Florida move. The area has so much to offer and Tyndall's a wonderful posting opportunity. You will also discover that we have a strong, supportive Canadian community, and we look forward to welcoming you and your family.